Let's get into introductions. Over here on Curious Minds, bottom right hand corner, playing for Shopify Rebellion. It's the blue Terran, Byun. His opponent in the top left instead. The red Protoss playing for Alpha X. Hailing from NA, it's Astrea. Yes, that is the map order. You're there just for scouting, right? Okay. He stopped for a second in the third base and I was like, what is going on here? Oh, noes. An NGB block. Amazing. Very good micro on his SCV as well, getting a lot of health on his NGB actually. Gonna be stopping the Nexus for quite a while. Gonna be forcing actually a third probe to come out and kill this NGB. Very good play by Byun in the beginning stages of this game. Gonna be cancelled soon enough. It's gonna be a Marine first, without even adding the add-on. There's gonna be a factor incoming as well. Honestly, Byun is was once known to be the best Reaper player ever. And right now he's almost every single game going for the Marine first. Not really delving any deep into early scouting and preferring to play a game of his own with more safety and faster timing attacks and harassment ongoing, especially with how strong Widowmines are in this matchup. Getting these Widowmine harassments gonna be very... oh, yeah, right, over the reactor. My brain is lagging a little bit, guys. It's gonna be aliens being added into the mix. And there's a little bit of a hidden starport over here on the top right. Probably build a medevac and transport those aliens into the main base of Astrea and try to deal as much damage as possible. It's a Twilight Council opener on the side of the red Protoss instead, which is indeed going to be for Blinkstalkers. Very standard opener from Astrea, who is one of the more jazzy Protoss out there, but is able to play the standard if the situation requires it. And it's a best of 5. You want to get some practice ongoing, you want to develop a style strong against your opponent. But to do that, you have to play the standard in the first game of the series. You're gonna have your chance to do your weird stuff, but for now, it's just gonna have Blinkstalkers at the ready, which is something that you always need in this matchup, so it's not like you're ever gonna skip it. There's just different ways to get to that. Aliens are clamping up over here. Where is the medevac though? Oh, it's in the main and it's empty. Aliens are in the main. Astrea will see them being unloaded by the medevac. The aliens are indeed getting into this mineral line though. How many probes will fall? And it looks like it's gonna be a lot. They're lining up. The aliens are not falling. 11 probes dying down. And Byun will keep 2 of his aliens alive. Tanks being added into the mix. Byun is playing a very aggressive game. He's now getting his natural ongoing without getting an orbital command yet. It's still just a command center. A second Rex is incoming. And probably a third one will be incoming soon enough. But Byun is getting a very strong army already on his opponent face. 2 more probes are gonna be killed by the aliens, but the medevac will fall down as well. Not the best micro on this double up by Byun. He's gonna be forced to actually walk back to his own side of the map. Kind of weird and surprising. We don't see third Raxes as well, which is also pretty weird. I mean, you need money to get an orbital command, which you just got. What is going on here? Okay. Alright. It is indeed Ferrex incoming. This starport is not able to get a reactor because there's not enough space. Yeah, Byun not really playing the best Sin City of his life. I don't see why he lifted his starport and put him here. Maybe just to anticipate anything coming in the side of the map from the skies before it ever happens. But that's not the play out of Astrea. He's getting into RoboBay. Yes, Blink at the ready, sending Stalkers out. He's getting charged as well. First Colossus incoming. Astrea playing with strong units, but not a high amount of them. Trying to snipe down a tank. A very aggressive Blink. Trading 2 Stalkers for a tank. I'm not sure you can afford that, Astrea. That is moving out. His steam is halfway through, so is his +1 infantry weapons. And there's really not much in the way of defense for Astrea. These Stalkers are gonna be trading very good into Marines due to how Blink works. Is exactly what Astrea needed. And this base is under serious threat now that the tanks are gonna be sieging up over here. Or not even sieging up, just started stepping alongside the Marines. Now the shield battery is being used though. They do need to siege up. One of the tanks is gonna be sniped. The Marines are still fighting back. There's no steam, there's no +1. These Marines are kind of sitting ducks in this fight, to be completely honest. The tank will be sniping down more and more Stalkers, but here comes the Colossi. Well, the single Colossus. And there's no more timing for Byun ongoing. I'm not 100% certain this was the window to attack, but Byun will be happy lowering that army count by a little amount before sending more stuff out, especially Marauders alongside the Medivacs. Concussive shells halfway through, combat shields being added into mix as well. The first Purification Nova will not hit anything. Steam forward, and Byun will try to get a snipe on top of this one Disruptor and will manage. There's no Warp Prism to save it. A little bit of a mistake on the side of Astrea, and Byun is gonna be taking yet another key unit. Medivac is gonna be flying. Can I please click on it? Medivac is gonna be flying on the top left, trying to probably unload into the main. Yes, it does. While the rest of the army of Byun is getting ready to strike over here on the left side, in the bottom. Steaming forward. This is a small platoon of Marines. Recall gets forced over here, but 6 Prods are gonna be dying before anything happens. Then he's gonna retake all of his units, and he's gonna be sending another platoon over here on top of this 4th base of Astrea to try and get a deny. It's gonna be cancelled in the end. Widowmine will not get a huge shot, but the army of Byun is still strong enough to deal very easily into these Stalkers. The Concussive Shell Marauders are out there to deal with the Colossi as well. More and more Prods are gonna be killed, and Byun is gonna take another W into this first game of the series. Can Astrea come back from this? His economy is still pretty decent. Byun economy is kind of bad. It's getting better now with his third base incoming, but it wasn't really looking in a good spot for quite a while. A couple zealots being sent out to try and find out what Byun is up to, and then maybe take control of the watchtowers as well. There's a Widowmine over here. It's gonna be trying to escape. Meanwhile, Astrea has to leave the watchtower as well due to the movements of Byun. No Widowmine is going to be burrowing over there to keep Astrea from getting control of the watchtower. I mean, on the top right, there's nothing to control this watchtower, but the Ghost Academy is already being added into the mix. And that is going to be huge, especially once Shockwave upgrade for the EMP gets on, and one Zealot will lose his life to take control of this watchtower yet again. Here he comes. Astrea's gonna be sending a little bit of a run by into the main. There's some spotters over here. Then do not see this yet, but oh. Still a medivac over here, almost forgot. But the Legendary Phoenix trying to put it out of a little bit of a corner. Yeah, still no run by, it seems. Astrea trying to take some more ground over here in the middle. There's a sensor tower to stop him from doing that. And there's enough Vikings, honestly, to stop the Colossus from ever getting a good fight. Another Zealot is gonna be killed in the effort to take these watchtowers. The army of Byun is really out of position right now, though. And here goes the Zealots. More and more are gonna be working in. Answer Shockwave is incoming. It is a huge run by incoming. Oh, if he's able to, yeah, he doesn't commit into that for very good reasons. The Vikings are going to be trying to deal with these Colossi, but the Blame Forward is going to be dealing with the Vikings very easily. Even in this little bit of a dead air space, all of the Vikings are going to be cleared, and Astrea is going to be pushing forward. Byun doesn't manage to deal with the run by in the main fast enough, and he's going to be losing 8 probes and an NG base before dealing with that. The army of Astrea is not strong enough to push over here. The reinforcements out of Byun are going to be coming here shortly. And Byun will defend even after taking some severe losses. The War Prism is still alive with still 2 Zealots in it. And he can get ready to get into business with another Warp Queen available. Sensor Tower is going to go down, giving Astrea a little bit more room to maneuver. But here comes a run by out of Byun instead, trying to pull Astrea out of position, trying to get a kill onto something. He's going to be trying to snipe down a couple of these Stalkers, but Byun is gonna be losing 2 full medivacs for this. And that's definitely GG. Astea's gonna be taking game number 1 of the series. Let's see, what do these guys want to change out of their first performance? Let's start off in the top right hand corner with Micro Jackson himself. It's a blue Terran playing for Shopify Rebellion. It's Byun. His opponent in the red and in the bottom left hand corner. Currently leading the series, looking to get to the match point. Makes a noise for Alpha X very own Astrea. Currently in Korea. Wanna call it bootcamp. He's been in Korea for a long time in his pro career. And really shows. Probably is gonna be sent out to actually try and see if there's any proxy incoming. Byun got a proxy support in the first game. But of course, that is not something that you can easily scout and you can easily keep track because it comes at a much later stage. And honestly, unless you go Stargate, which is kind of trash against Terran, since the Void Rainer, you're just not gonna see it. Let's be honest. Still, Astrea is gonna make sure there's not a single hidden Rex in his proximities. And there is not. Reactor first out of Byun before any single unit gets popping out of these Rex. Command center on the low ground. And not even SCV Scout. Byun playing overly confident, to be honest. But Astrea not really known as a cheesy gamer, so second Rex incoming, of course. There's a bread and butter Byun. I wouldn't be surprised to see an early Fur Command Center as well. And it comes Twilight Council out of Astrea. Again, going into Link Stalker stack. Maybe a third Rex. And right now, honestly, I would be surprised if this wasn't an early Fur Command Center. With Marines able to take control of pretty much the whole map in these early stages. A Fur Command Center is usually very easy to defend. And is not really a huge commitment. So Orbital Command being started. We see a Tech Lab being added over here to get Stim. And this might either be a strong timing or just a way to get an early command center. Come on, Byun, just drop it down already. It's not even early at this stage anymore. It's just a normal for command center. Yeah, Byun is gonna be trying to get some supply depots over here. Creating Ashes is a huge main base, so being able to scout anything incoming to your main is very, very important. The tackle being added into makes 4 combo sheets, most likely. And yeah, there is just a full-on upgraded Marine army. And nothing less. Marine only to Grandmaster from Byun. Oh, it's Marauders, no. Ooh. Of course, they're gonna be insanely useful to tank out some damage in these early stages. Since you do not have Medivacs, it'll be very, very hard to deal with anything. No third command center in sight yet for Byun. And at this stage, it's starting to be almost late. Robobane coming for Astrea, yes, Blink, almost finished. He certainly does not expect a million Marines and Marauders to come his way, but he has the shield battery available to be overcharged, and he can try to deal with some of these Marines before they get his own. Well, he actually can't. Blink is not ready yet. Very strong timing out of Byun. Stalkers are gonna be on these ramp on the high ground. And Byun is gonna be waiting for steam to be finished. Combo shield is finished as well. And now he's gonna be steaming right into this choke point. Or maybe try to kill the robo, which is still huge. Will this observer be denied? No, it won't. The observer finishes thanks to shield barrier overcharge. But in the end, Astrea is gonna be losing his robo, which is kind of an important piece of his stack right now. Meaning it does not have a robo bay anytime soon. Oh, yeah. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Oh, he does. He does. I'm sorry. He does have a robo bay. So yeah, he's gonna be having a robo bay normally timing. And honestly, it might be also fooling Byun into thinking it doesn't. So let's see. Furnex is being established as well as the third command center out of Byun, both players on a very similar economical state, with Byun being very much behind in tech, but still the Bio army is pretty much all you need, alongside some Medivacs. You don't really need much more, +1 is in the makings. And, honestly, you need a little bit more than just a couple Colossi to deal with it as of now, especially with the Ghost Academy still being available to be made by Byun. We all know how strong EMP upgraded is, so Astrea needs to stay careful. It's a Dark Shrine coming. I'm kind of unsure about that. We can get quite some damage ongoing, but Byun is playing super aggressive. Just a bio. Oh, beautiful catch by Astrea with a plane forward. We'll almost knock down one single Medivac trying to get behind his main base. It will not manage. The army of Astrea is not really that strong, as you can see. Not even half of the supply, well, a little bit more than half the supply of his opponent. But he's adding a lot of strong pieces of the puzzle. Second Colossus incoming, +1. Ground weapons and charge also incoming. Alongside that, Dark Shrine. It could be very helpful into dealing some damage and getting some Archons for defense as well. I like Archons, are that strong in this matchup. They become obsolete very fast once ghosts are a thing, because they basically become paper. But they can still be useful, especially with Warp Prism speed. Alright, dropping the main, he's at ready. Astrea will be sending much of his might over here in the main for defense. This is not a fast warp in at all, I don't know why. But this Zealot is not powering up this gateway, I think. Which is unfortunate, because over here, Byun is just skimming on top of this mineral line. Gonna be trying to snipe down some tech, trying to kill down the Robo. A recall gets issued over here at the third base, while Byun is abusing Glittering Ashes as best as he can. He's gonna now unload over here at the natural. Then he's gonna be losing lots and lots of his army, but he's gonna be hurting Astrea quite a lot. He's not really able to keep his units where he needs them. 15 probes and counting are gonna be killed. His medevac still ongoing. Finally, lane forward will deal with it. 17 probes have been killed for this, and Byun is gonna be finding himself quite ahead in economy. For quite some time, Shadow Stride incoming, went behind Dark Shrine. Didn't even need to put it down, he already had it at the ready. A Doom Drop is incoming for Byun, looking to put the last nail in the coffin of Astrea. Can Astrea bite back though? That's a whole other question. Ground Weapons +1 is almost... no, it's actually completed. Another War Prism is being added into the mix. The probe will scout. His medevac going ahead and dropping into the main. But will Astrea be able to deal with this? Doesn't really look like he has much. Via steaming on top of the mineral line. These Guardian... sorry, these force speeds are hurting Astrea more than they're benefiting him. And right now Byun is absolutely going rampage on top of everything he sees. These Colossi are just dealing quite a lot of damage. But are they dealing a lot? Enough. Lakshan is going to be scattered as well, and now Astrea is ready to strike at the third base. Sorry, Byun is ready to strike at the third base. Yet again, the Zealots are going to be warped in to try and deal with this. The first warp-in started by the Warp Prism to get some harassment will also be sent back home for defense. And now Shockwave EMPs in the making alongside the first few ghosts. And Astrea is still 17 workers behind. Doesn't have enough of an army to fight Byun face to face. +2/+2 in the making for Byun as well. With Vikings getting their weapons upgrades as well to deal with the Colossi as fast as possible. Lots and lots of Zealots being sent out. I don't really see them getting enough damage, especially with the Ghost being already on the field. They're gonna be striking probably where it hurts most. It looks like there's nothing in the way of defense over here. A couple SCVs are gonna be losing their lives, only the one actually. And a couple Zealots will be chased down before they can get any more damage on coming. The Dark Templars trying to get over here on the right. There's a Sensu Tower out for Byun to catch these Templars before they do anything. And there's also missile turrets in pretty much every single base. I don't really see these Dark Templars doing much, to be honest. Astrea trying to put the attention of Byun away to send the Dark Templars in and deal as much damage as possible. He's gonna be sending the Zealots over here on the top left, which are gonna be shooed away by half of the army of Byun before these planetary is finished. Only 4 SCVs are gonna fall. Astrea not really finding the windows. Over here, the Warp Prism in the main will be sniped by the missile turret. Astrea losing another very important piece of his puzzle. And now Byun close to being maxed out. He's gonna be fighting with the army of Astrea, where the +1 Vikings destroying these Colossi every single time they get close. That's also a lot of Vikings as well. Not a lot of Stalkers. There's still a lot of Disruptors. Astrea can be extremely deadly on these Disruption Novas. But I don't really think that he has a strong enough army to deal with how spread can be Byun with his efforts. Sending army on the right, sending army on the left, and Astrea cannot really deal easily with both. Disruption Novas are gonna be used as a tool to keep the army of Byun away, but it's not really working, is it? 11 probes are gonna fall down, and so does the Nexus. Astrea is falling more and more behind. With +2 ground weapons incoming from the Protoss player. Disruption Nova's not really hitting much. They're gonna hit one of his own Stalkers, actually. The probes are trying to get back into safety, but the economy of Astrea has taken a huge blow to the face Another Nexus is gonna be added over here. Strat trying to double expand to at least defend one of those two expansions. Byun is gonna be adding up a fusion core. We got Liberator's range, most likely mother of EMPs. Oof. Astrea needs to back off for a long time. That EMP didn't mess around for sure. Yeah, Byun is in a almost unlosable position right now. He has the better tech, he has the better army, he has the better economy, he has more workers. He needs to get a major blunder, or Astrea needs to get a miracle purification novas. Which are honestly both quite unlikely. Byun is a very strong micro player, and I doubt he's gonna lose too many units to the Novas. High ground Novas will not matter with these many Vikings in the skies trying to get the battle on top of these Colossi. Here comes the Novas all at once, and they're not gonna hit as much as Astrea wanted. The EMPs are absolutely insane, and the army of Astrea will melt in front of Byun's face. I was actually expecting a Palan on this ramp to stop the add-on from going up. But the probe will instead be as annoying as possible on top of the probe, not even really bothering about the Reaper that's soon to come, or the Marine. It's gonna be a Reaper in the end. The probe will stay out expecting a Marine, which is what is going to happen. When he moves out is exactly when he knows that the Marine would have been finished. So he knows now it's a Reaper, and the Reaper Caliph is probably gonna be walled off. Well, not really. Actually, not at all. He uses a very wide open Reaper Caliph. But yeah, whatever. He's just a scouting tool. Or is it? His probe is in danger. The adapt is almost finished though, so I don't really see this Reaper getting too much. Probes being sent out as well. One of the probes actually falls down. Grenade trying to be as obnoxious as possible and stopping some mining time. Warp gate gets started after the Stargate gets started, and it's gonna be completely scouted by Byun. He's also gonna escape with his Reaper well and alive. Oracle first, out of Astrea. Try and get some information from the get-go to try and stop. Oh, yeah, this Reaper Caliph is definitely walled off. You just need a pylon there, so yeah. In the end, we're gonna see something very similar to game number 1. We have a factory out to get some cyclones, to get some defensive units against the Stargate, but everything else is very similar to the game 2, of the series, with Byun getting a little bit deeper into Rack Stack without even getting a starport out yet, and try to get as many Marines and Marauders out as possible with early steam, early combat shoots, early concussive shells, and yada yada. Oracle is out, and he's gonna be looking to deal some damage. There's some Marines stranded over here, and there's the Cyclones in the main, so I don't really think this Oracle will ever get anything done. The lock-on gets on top of this Oracle, so that's the second lock-on, and the Oracle will need to escape with his life. 60 health remaining, not a lot. Phoenix is added into the mix. Try and lift these Cyclones whenever they get the lock-on. And the Cyclones is over here on top of the watchtower. The Reaper is gonna get on top of the other watchtower. The Oracle is still trying to find a way to fly into the main. He has enough energy now to survive a lock-on. He's gonna drop down a very big revelation, actually, seeing much of what is happening in the base of Byun, and also being able to see the starport coming out of Byun. Still, lots and lots of ground units. Talakan still not finished yet. The Cyclones are still as deadly as ever, even against the Phoenixes. Where's the Oracle? He's flying back home to try and get a glimpse of this army moving out. The Phoenixes are flying into danger territory. One of the Phoenixes is definitely going down before being able to do anything. The other Phoenix is gonna give it lock on as well. And it's gonna fall down before being able to do anything. Another Phoenix is in very dangerous position, and it's a GG call by Astrea. Byun gets to match point. Over here in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn, playing for Shopify Rebellion. It's a blue Terran player currently at match point. They already say this probably a million times, but I will say this again. Can he do it right here, right now? It's Byun. His opponent in the red instead, playing for Alpha X, hailing from NA. Needs to win 2 in a row. It's Astrea. And what do we have here? My dear Astrea. Is this a proxy robo play? Or is this the frigate Stalkers? Yeah, you're gonna have a cybernetic score in front of your opponent. This is not a max specs. The max specs as the first paladin in your own side of the map, due to having a cybernetic score needed on your own side, and then you got a second. It's alright. So the max specs is a pylon gateway, cybernetic score gateway. This is a pylon gateway. This is gateway expand, but in front of your opponent. And there's a Zealot incoming as well. And there's a Nexus incoming as well. And there's no cybernetics core. Want a cyber core over here probably? Here it comes. So this is a reverse max specs, I guess. Yeah, this is gonna be definitely command center on the high ground, and the Zealot is not really going to be able to stop this, huh? That probe was a little bit sus. Coming in too early is never a good thing for a probe. And in the end, Byun will smell blood in the air and will get his command center on the high ground. Again and again, Blackburn always is a interesting map when it comes to his matchup. After all, Astrea went for a completely standard opener. The only thing that is different is that yes, he will supply block for quite a while, and that his first gateway is on the map. Everything else is completely average. Yes, he wants to play aggressive, but with a very standard opener, he was able to deal some small damage to Byun in the way of his command center being forced on the high ground, his orbital command being a little bit late, and lots of units being pushed out, resetting Byun to a Widowmine drop approach. Here comes the Stalkers and the Zealots. Oh, the Widowmine shots! Gonna go both on the two Zealots and gonna kill both of them, while also damaging the Stalkers. In the end, we're not seeing much more happening. Another Stalker is incoming. Blink is just being started right now. Warp Gate not completed yet. And there's quite a lot of Marines on the high ground for Byun. I don't really see these Stalkers doing much. Medivacs is gonna be used in a way of defending his command center. And it's now collecting two Widow Mines and ready itself to fly through the map and try to kill some probes. Stalkers unable to intercept it. And I think they're gonna be recalled. Or at least they're gonna be walking back home. There's yeah, they're gonna be recalled. The Medivac will not get anything done. There's another Stalker walking its way back home. And yeah, this gateway sooner rather than later is going to die, so Astrea will need to replace it, but it's just a gateway. Blink not finished yet. Bit of a later blink compared to usual. But in the end, this Medivac will easily survive against blinkless Stalkers. Third base from Astrea is going to be popping down over here, while Byun is not really taking a third command center yet. Doesn't really look like he's wanted to take one anytime soon as well. He's getting a lot of units. He's probably gonna try and get some timing done. Now the Blink Stalkers are out, of course. They're gonna be trying to lower the amount of units that Byun can send out from the get-go. Gonna try also to lure the units of Byun away from the gateway. He doesn't really want to lose it. Gets fast into the game. Maybe a little bit later, yes, it's fine. But right now, you kind of want to have another gateway at the ready. Robo Bay is almost completed to get some Colossus or Disruptor action ongoing. Gonna be Colossi, probably a couple, if not 3, alongside external thermal lands, such a cost-efficient unit against early stage Terran. But it's gonna not, it's not gonna scale into late game as well as the Disruptors do. Now this Medivac is gonna be flying into the natural to get a little bit of a Widowmine drop. The Widowmine will be snapped before doing anything. It wasn't a very healthy Widowmine. Second Widowmine though. Oh! It's 5 probes down with a very late Widowmine drop. Not exactly what you want. The Raven will fly over this gateway and will find it out for Byun. Finally managing to put up some dent into the defenses of Astrea. Having one less gateway to work with. It's not really the best, and he's gonna be forced into replacing it, as you can see. Now that he has a third base being saturated, there's soon to be an explosion of gateways as well. Xenothermal lands halfway through, but the push from Byun is already incoming. And there's not really much in the way of defense. Astrea will try to snipe down the Raven, which is walking very dangerously ahead, actually. Tanks are not singeing up yet. Here comes the Interference Matrix number 1 on the first Colossus. Shield Body Overcharge is also up though, so Byun will wait it out. But Astrea doesn't really have a strong army. He has a strong economy. The Interference Matrix ready over here. But there's Blink Stalkers also ready to snipe these Raven down before he can get anything done. They do not have the same range, but yeah. One Stalker will suicide to try and get the kill. Will not manage. More and more units being sent out by Byun. He's gonna be leapfrogging his 4 tanks forward. Disruptor, you want to get a Nova, but will instead be sniped before doing anything. Interference Matrix goes on top of one of the Colossus, but not with the Raven surviving. Tanks being leapfrogged forward. Another Purification Nova will hit on top of the tanks. But in the end, these tanks are just too much of a threat. There's one Disruptor alive, 3 gateways in the making. And 1 Disruptor halfway through in the making. Another Medivac is gonna be sending out reinforcements for Byun. The Zealots being added into the mix, and it's another dead tank. And a very bruised one. Here comes another Purification Nova. It's gonna hit another tank. Byun, very, very janky push from him. He was in a very commanding position and he lost all of his tanks without pretty much doing anything. Recall gets issued to deal with this drop in the main. Byun will see this, knows better, and he will decide not to strike in the main anymore. Astrea, not as far as it was before in workers. Byun is going to be taking the lead economy-wise. He's going to be dropping down the Ghost economy. And I don't want to say Astrea is on a timer, but his slowdown is transitioned by quite too much. We already have Vikings in the makings. We already have good upgrades on the side of Byun. And yes, Astrea is taking a 4th base, but the Ghost economy is almost completed and we don't even remotely see a counter yet. Just +1 ground weapons. Like, his defense was very clean. Like, he lost almost nothing. He lost a Disruptor and something else. Like, he lost very little. While dealing a huge blow to the army of Byun. Now he has a lot of Disruptors with this. But he needs, like, miracle connections, I feel. Because once Shockwave EMP becomes a thing, his army was just gonna absolutely melt. Zealots and Stalkers get into position. The charge forward of the Zealots on top of the main army of Byun, which is going to be started stepping backwards. There's 2 tanks with these as well. It's time for the Disruptors to pave the way. A Warp Prism being added into the mix, but over here, on the top, Byun is ready to strike at the gold. There's one scouting pylon seeing the movements out of Byun though. So Astrea will send some of his units back for defense. Is he gonna be sending out enough? No, he's just gonna kind of sack this base before sending his units in. He needs to break down those rocks. Those rocks never need to stay up if you want to defend your golden base. Meanwhile, a little bit of a run by from Astrea incoming over here. The third base of Byun doing absolutely nothing against the tank being stationed there. The army of Byun moving into position to deal with these army of Byun being stationed over here, this platoon. But he's gonna be sending 2 Colossi to their death. And a little bit of a concave incoming. The Purification Nova will hit quite a lot in the end. So it might be still recoverable from Astrea, but he lost all of his key units. It's only Disruption Novas against the full bio army. Yes, there are 2 tanks, but the 2 tanks are strictly unnecessary. The 4 Vikings still in the air are gonna prevent any Colossus from ever making an appearance. And here goes the Golden Base. Meanwhile, the Zealot run by trying to do its best at dealing with the production, but its best is rarely, like it's barely enough to deal with the reinforcements that just popped out of this production. Imagine more of these coming out. It's actually 2 tanks being killed, which is not bad at all. Byun is forced to go backwards due to the Purification Nova still being insanely deadly. But I don't really see much more incoming. The Liberators are now in the skies, dealing with a run-by. 7 SCVs have been killed. But now this Warp Prism is gonna be chased down by this Liberator, which is sleeping on the job. Oh, not anymore. He wakes up. And the Warp Prism is going to die, even slowly. He's just going to die. Is it though? Is the Liberator fast enough, actually? Maybe it's not. Yeah, it isn't. I didn't know. The army of Byun is growing by the second, so is his economy always better than his opponent from the get-go. His upgrades also a lot better. Shockwave EMP is researched, and now that there are ghosts in the army, I don't really see Astrea getting a head-on fight that strong into his opponent. Byun breaking the rocks to save his army from the Purification Novas, but there's still so many Disruptors out. Byun wants to drop a double EMP and then immediately jump on top of these Disruptors as soon as they make a mistake. There's still not enough ghosts in this army for Byun to take a head-on fight. Meanwhile, Astrea is gonna be flying his Warp Prism yet in. But the ghosts are gonna be very, very scary for him to deal with. Well, Ghost has enough range to deal with the Warp Prism. Just barely, and... oh, the Warp Prism barely survives. On the other side of the map, Byun steaming forward on top of the 5th base of Astrea. And now we don't see the EMP we were looking for, or we don't really even see the shock with the Purification Nova that Astrea needs to stay in this game. Astrea is recovering, even just slowly and barely, and is now getting into Fleet Beacon tech. Yeah, carriers might be a very good thing to add into the mix. A recall gets issued against the Dune drop of Byun incoming over here into the main. Purification Novas will not complete. Actually, this is dealing much more damage than I was expecting. Becomes another Nova, and it's another deny. All of the Disruptors are going down at once, steaming and killing, sniping down the Disruptors before they can do anything. There's not a single key unit in the army of Astrea. The Forge is unpowered. These units are still steaming on top of whatever is left of the army of Astrea and Byun. With one swift maneuver, we'll get the game and the series here on Blackbird.